Hi, I'm Ashley Taylor, and today I'm going to be interviewing Judy Montynch.
There you go, good.
Today is November 7th, 2018. Thank you for coming today to share how you have overcome an obstacle. What obstacle did you overcome in your life that you'll be sharing with us?
Nothing majorly big like I'm sure some people have, other than I grew up in a very, very small town up north, close to the Mackinac Bridge, and I moved here to Battle Creek after college and became a teacher. And so when I moved, probably the biggest obstacle was my own personal fears. I didn't know anybody. I absolutely knew no one in this city. So I came in I had been so fortunate to get the job as a teacher, but it was very scary, like I said, not knowing anybody, not knowing anything about Battle Creek other than, thank you, Lord, I have a job. So that was probably, other than that, I mean, I had a very, I guess I would say, normal childhood growing up and all, so.
What was your motivation for participating in the interview today?
More or less probably as a favor to a friend of mine who asked me to do it, and I thought, okay, why not? He's helped me out in the past, so, and I was curious, so here I am.
Where were you born?
I was born in a little town called Rogers City, and it is up by the bridge. I'm terrible at directions, so it's just south of the bridge on Lake Huron.
Oh. Can you tell me about the neighborhood you grew up in?
Very quiet, very small. I think there probably, as I was growing up, maybe 3,500 people in the town at most. I went to a Catholic grade school, and then I went to the public high school, and it was very different, obviously, many years ago. Quiet neighborhoods, you know, our big entertainment was playing in the neighborhood yard or visiting the neighbors. A little bit active in school. I played in the band and did some of that kind of thing, but like I said, just a very small, quiet community versus bigger towns.
Tell me about your parents.
My parents were, I guess in my mind, typical parents. My dad was a truck driver for the county, meaning he took care of roads and so on for the county. My mom basically was a stay-at-home mom. She did do some took in ironing and that type of thing. I was the youngest of 9 children, and so I was probably considered by then an only child because my other siblings were 10 and 12 years older than myself. Unfortunately, my mom had miscarried for the first 4, so then I had 3. I had a brother and 2 sisters. My one sister is still living. My one sister has passed away, and my brother, who was the oldest at that time, unfortunately passed away at the age of 18 from a brain tumor right after he graduated from high school. Thank you. So like I said, I was pretty much an only child because my sisters, I was 7 when he passed away, they were 17 and 18. So.
Were you really close with them?
I was very close to my sisters, but very close to my brother. And to my parents. I guess that was, I'm sorry, I got a little sidetracked there.
What are the biggest events that you can remember from your childhood?
Wow, from my childhood. Again, nothing, indirectly personal to me, but not. The biggest ways persons earned money in Rogers City where we had a shipping, it was called the Michigan Limestone, and we had 9 boats that hauled limestone. And in I think it was 57, one of our boats sunk, and in a bad storm on Lake Michigan, and I had 9 relatives on there, and so that was pretty traumatic as a younger. Like I said, other than that, my childhood was pretty normal. One of the most fun things, my dad was a big baseball fan, so he would take me to a Tiger game every summer. So that was, but other than that, just pretty normal, I guess.
How do you define a good life or a successful life?
A good life or mine. I mean, it's just everything is good. Nothing. I've had a good job. Like I said, I am retired, obviously, but I had a good job. I've had lots of friends, a good family. That's it. No major anythings.
What university did you?
I did my undergraduate work at Eastern Michigan University, where I received a Bachelor of Science in. I taught physically challenged. So it was called, back in the day, it was called POHI, which was physically and otherwise health impaired. And then I received my master's degree from Michigan State in emotionally impaired. So working with the emotionally impaired.
The other bell's going to be soon, so we may want to just watch that, so we can probably avoid having to overtalk her.
How do you decide what you wanted to do with your life?
Actually, it was kind of a strange, I guess back in my mind I always wanted to be a teacher. Initially I wanted to teach music. Don't ask me why that. And in high school I played the bass clarinet. And I talked to, I guess, the counselor, and I didn't have the physical ability to carry on with that, is what he told me, or she was a he. So then I thought, okay, what do I want to do? And somebody had just talked to me then about teaching special education, and I said, okay, that sounds. So basically it was through a counselor, I guess, and not being able to do some of the other things that I had thought about. But teaching, I think, was always in the back of my mind.
Did you enjoy being a teacher?
I did. I taught for 34 and a half years. So yes, it was good.
Where did you teach at?
Battle Creek Public at Ann J. Kellogg.
Between your childhood and your current life, which would you say is better?
A little bit of both. I don't think, as a child there's so many different kinds of things that you do and learn, and then hopefully capitalize them on in your adulthood. But there's fun. There's both. Probably as an adult, because I am on my own and have the money and didn't, I could do. I mean, not the money's money, but you make your own decisions,
yeah.
And you're not being guided. I mean, I still want advice, and I still get advice from friends and so on. But then basically, it is my choice. So.
Do you have any children?
I do not. I'm single and never have been married. So I have lots of nieces and nephews that, because my sisters were older, so a couple of my nieces are pretty close in age to me. So we do a lot of things when we can.
Is there a reason why you never got married?
No, just never found the right person, I guess.
How have your goals and dreams changed through your life?
I don't know that they've changed. Again, it was just because now I do a lot of volunteer work, and so I think that just fills in the gaps of maybe not having children or not having a husband. Some people do say, and I always said too, that my classroom children were my children, and I still think of that, and I have contact with some of them still, not regularly, but every once in a while. So I think it's just. I don't know, you just learn and go with it.
Is there anything else that you would like to share today?
No, like I said, I think I basically am happy with, from, like you said, childhood. I think I've reached the goals basically, and now I'm just having a good time. I can choose to do different things, and like I said, I do a lot of volunteer work, and which is how I met partially the gentleman that initiated this. We are in a non-service organization together. But I spend a lot, and I'm very involved in my church, and like I said, those kinds of things take the place of family type of thing. Everything I do like that is my family.
Okay, well, thank you for coming today.
You're welcome, thank you.
Do we want to try and make it longer? Because as of now, it's at 9 minutes.
That's okay with me? No. Ooh, am I supposed to, are we quiet now?
No, you're fine. Maybe, what is your life like now that you're retired? How is it different from your working life? Things like that. What do you do in your free time?
Okay, as I said, in my free time, I do a lot of volunteer work with the church. Like right now, we're running a wreath and swag sale for Christmas. We're doing Christmas cards with scenes from the church. I belong to an organization called Altrusa. I'm the president of Altrusa. I'm the president of the exchange club that I belong to, Penfield Exchange, by the way. And we have, within the church, we have smaller groups called circles, and I'm the president of St. Elizabeth is my circle. I belong to the Council of Catholic Women, which is the bigger organization. I have been president of that. I do volunteer work at the food pantry, and I do volunteer work like out at Calhoun County Medical Association, the building and I do the food pantry. I have to think of where I'm going from here. So I don't, like I said, I fill a lot of my time with volunteering and that type of thing.
Did you do a lot of volunteer work before you retired?
Not as much. I did some a little bit with the church, but as a teacher, it took, as you probably all know, to your teachers, it takes a lot of time. So I did some, but now I do much more. I'm trying to think. Oh, I know. One of the most fun things I do right now is play chimes for my church. We don't have bells, but we have chimes, and so I have that practice like tomorrow. I also go to a workout place very regularly. So that that kind of stuff takes.
Have you been back to your hometown?
I go back for the holidays. I still have a sister up there that lives up there, and a couple of my nieces and nephews, and the rest of them are scattered. But yeah, I go up pretty much just during the holidays and once or twice during the summer. I'm not fond of driving that anymore after driving it for 60, 50 years, whatever it is. Especially in the winter. I hate driving up there. But
Is there anything specific you do up there for the holidays?
just a family get-togethers primarily. Like I said, I still have the one sister and 3, 4, 5 of them. And somebody usually has a big dinner, that type of thing. So
Did you play any sports in high school?
I did not. Back in that, I graduated in '65. So at that point, little town, I can't say it's true of every place, but we didn't have many sports for females. I think they were just starting to do more of that kind of thing. So no, I did not.
Did you ever want to play any sports?
I'm not good, so probably didn't have any burning, but yeah, but since it wasn't available, I guess you just didn't really get into it too much. So.
Did you have any heroes or role models when you were a child?
I think I was a typical teenager, and see, you guys are so young, you ladies. My favorite thing was American Bandstand, so I loved Dick Clark. I went to a Catholic school for, like I said, my 8 years. So I had, some of the nuns were persons, obviously, that, shaped a lot of my thinking and so on. My parents were very important, but as far as again, being in a small town like that, you're a little bit isolated and you don't come into contact with. But again, my dad was a baseball fan, so I became a baseball fan, and so those kind of persons, I guess, were people I thought about and dreamed about. Oh wow, wouldn't it be nice to do or be, but whatever. So. I'm trying to think of.
If there was one thing in your life that you could change, what would it be?
One thing I could change. Honestly, I really don't think I would, other than I would have always liked to have become married and have a family. But, that would be the only thing that I think that I would if I could, but I can't. But I'm okay. And I guess I've reconciled maybe with myself and God that was His plan for me not to. So okay. So maybe that's why I do the volunteer work and that type of thing.
How did you become so religious?
Again, with just the influence, I think, as a younger person. And then we have some very good people here. I go to St. Philip, and they've been very influential with me.
Do you have any pets?
Unfortunately, I'm allergic to cats and dogs, and so no, I don't. I would like dogs, but in fact, I was just with a friend the other day, and it was like, oops. I was hoping I outgrew them, but not so. Are we good?
Let's see, we're up to 15 minutes. You guys think that's enough? Yeah,
Well,
okay.
thank you for coming today.
Oh, thank you. I hope it. Are you done? I mean, are we off now? I mean, because.
Carries the first. I'm not even sure if I can get it back. Here, I'll hold it.
Thank you so much.
Oh, no, thank you. And what?
What? She already ended that.
Oh, God.
Sure.